All right, let's look at some news for Over the Top World War One. Flying Squirrel Entertainment has pushed a lot of updates this week. This is 1.13. So, all the previous updates have been bug fixes or exploit fixes for problems that have been found in the game. However, today's update actually has some balance changes. Explosions and gas and friendly officer Collins now do friendly fire damage. This is really going to affect the way players call those in. You now have to be a little more careful about where you're calling in your damage. Otherwise, you're going to see a lot more friendly casualties. Slightly adjusted weapon stats, mostly buffed revolvers and bolt action rifles. I'm a little surprised to see that myself. I thought the revolvers were really strong already. They had a good clip size, really fast rate of fire, and the bolt action rifles were pretty good too. So to see them buffed is a little surprising, but interesting to see them paying attention to the balance in that way. The biggest changes, perhaps, are a buff to the Rifleman class and nerfs to the Stormtroopers and Specialist classes. The Rifleman being the default, not really having the abilities that the other classes have, perhaps now needs to have a bit more of a stats buff to make up for that. So we'll see if this makes the Rifleman a little bit of a more viable choice now. And adjustments to the class limits on all servers. I do think it's funny we got some typos here. Threshold, balloon. The rest of these are all bug fixes and some exploits and such. So looking at the balance changes and the class limits changes rather, remembering we're seeing a nerf now to the Stormtrooper and Specialist and a buff to the Rifleman. On our left here, we have the previous as it was yesterday, and on our right, currently as it is now. No changes to the officer, capped at 5, the Rifleman still uncapped. Stormtroopers must have been just overpowering as they received that nerf, and they received a nerf to their class limits as well. They are now limited at 6. The other class limit changes are increases. Specialists are now allowed up to 6. Snipers are allowed up to 10. And heavy gunners got an increase of 2 up to 7. No changes to the essentially unlimited engineers and the 19 limit on our armored. So we'll see how those limits affect the servers. I don't expect the class limit changes will have a huge effect. Depending on how great of a change there was, they didn't give any of the numbers for the class changes or the weapons changes. It seems like a minor change, but this is their first real balance change, as we've said. So let me know if you'd like to see more content like this covering the changes and news along with this game. I'm really liking the game. I think it's a lot of fun and a good progression in this little subgenre of massive warfare here. I think it's really adding a lot to the genre. So I'm really glad to see it being so successful and so many people playing it. So post below if you got any questions or comments on this, and like and subscribe for more content.